Hello.
Hello, you're dressed for Shabbos already?
I'm ready. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Ready to go.
I
Good
don't waste
for
any
you.
time.
Okay. We are on Sadi Gimel, 93.
Yeah.
Now, my timer, when you buy an Eved and he's a Ganav or a gambler, we say that the deal is a good deal. Now, why? Because Mishum Deruba Isnu, that's the Rov Avodim are like that. So you understand that when you buy an Eved, you're going to get him. Look, Kulachi Isnu, all Avodim. And therefore, the buyer doesn't have any claim of a Mekach Tos, Toshma. Shorsha Nogach Esapora. An ox gored a pregnant cow. And you find Nimsa Ubra Meis Betzida. You find a fetus dead and the mother dead. Maybe the mother gave birth before it was gored and the baby died on its own and not as a result of the goring. Or, imish nagacha yalda. Maybe the shore goring is what caused this damage. So the owner of the shore, Mishan Chatzi Nezek Lepar. You have to pay Chatzi Nezek, which is it's a short tam. A non-shore muad always plays Chatzi Nezek. V'yavir livlad. Now, you don't pay the full for the vlad because it's a suffix whether the shore did it or died on its own. Now, Rob said, when it comes to Mominus, we go after Rov. So why should we only pay a quarter? Lema l'cha aterov paros for Rov paros misrabos v'yoldos. Most cows give birth to live fetuses and live children. Vaha vare machmas negicha ipil. It's not a suffix. It's clearly because of a goring. So maybe we don't follow Rov by Mominus. So the more Rav would answer, no. In general, we go Rov by Mominus. But Hasam, Yishum de Mesafkalon, we have another suffix. The Ikala Meimar, Mikama Asam Mebeasasa. Maybe just the shore showing up caused the animal to be afraid. The part, Vipilan, she had a miscarriage, but not because of Nagicha. That wasn't done on their shore. Vikla Meimar, Meachore also Umingas Nagacha. Vipila. Or maybe it was a real goring. So Havi Mammon, Amutal Besafik. It's Mammon that's specific. Mammon, Amutal Besafik, how can we divide it? Lema Ketanoi. Shor Shayaroa. An ox was grazing. Venimsa Shor Harug Bitsito. There's another ox on the side, dead. Afal Pisha Zemen Nugach, Vizeh Muad Ligach. The animal that was killed has been gored before, and the other one is a muad to do goring, or zemenushach v'zem moed lishach, or biting. We don't have edim. We don't take money out of the bala shore because of the possibility, you got to have Eidim. But Ravacha Amar, in a similar case, Gamal HaUcher, a Gamal who's known to be wild, Ben Agmalim. V'nimsa Gamal Harug B'tzido, and there's a dead camel in that group. Be a Duish Zeharko. Then we rely on the fact that we knew this camel was a wild animal. It's a chazaka that he kills. So Savrua, Ruba v'chazaka kiyadin ninu, that the Rov and chazaka have the same power. And maybe Lema Rav, the Omar that we go even by moments after Rov, holds like Ravacha, that we also go after chazaka. Shmuel Omar, we don't go after Rov by Mammon. He holds like Tanakama, that we don't go after Chazaka either by Mammon. Armal Charav, no. Another, if you listen to Tanakama, I can hold even according to Tamaka. I'd come according to Tanakama Hasam, by a case where we said if you find a gored ox in the group of cows that the ox was there, we didn't say that the owner of the ox has to pay. Ela the Lozin and Basar Chazaka. By Mammon, we don't go after Chazaka that he's a Nagchan. Aval Basaru Bazlina, but we will use principles of majority and statistics. Ushmul Amalcha, another man Felicius is Ravach, I'd come like a Ravacha, Hasam El Nazina Basar Chazaka. The Gamal, it has a Chazaka that is Muzik, that he's a dangerous camel. Aval Basaruba, but let's say looking at percentages, Lo Azlina, because it's not in front of us. Toshma. You sowed seeds, he planted it, they didn't grow. Afilu zer pishtan, even seeds of flax that normally are not eaten. You're not chayiv to pay the guy because he bought bad seeds. Now my afilu, lav afilu zer pishtan derubal izriyah. Most flax seeds are sold to plant, not to eat. Even then, we don't go after rov. What's this Tanoihi? The Tanya, Moicher Pers Chavero. The Zarn Velot Somchu. You sold seeds. He planted it, and they didn't grow. So if it was Zeroni Gina, She'ena Cholin, if it's just grain that is not eaten, but it's just for a garden, then, and it was just planted for seeds, Chayv Bachris, and you'd have to pay the guy back. Zer Pishtan, Ena Chayv Bachris. Some people buy flax to make oil for other purposes. So there, he wouldn't always sell it for the purposes of growing. Rav Yosef Omer, Nois and Lo Dmei Zera. Most flax seeds are planted for planting, so you have to pay him the value of the flax. Many people buy flax not for planting. Man tanoi. Who are those tanoi? Ilim Rav Yosef Amrulo Tavaya Basaruvazin. They do go after Rov. Mar Azul Basaruva the Inchi. Let's say 80% of people will buy it for this reason. That's called Rov. Umar Azul Basaruva the Zriya. That we look at the object. Most seeds are sold for seeding, not to eat. Ella itanakama Rabbi Yossi, itanakama v'armulo, because that first Tana does not hold that we go after Rov by Mammon. Torah Rabbanah. We said that if you sold somebody seeds for a garden, and the guy planted it, and it doesn't grow, you're chayiv, you have achrayas. So what does that mean? Ma'u noisin. What does the seller give to the buyer? Dmei zera, the value of the zera that he paid. But lo hotzah, but not the expenses of what it costs you to plant it. Hiring workers, plowing, The Yeshamim Afoitza, some say even the Hotza. Man Yeshamim, Rav Chizra Rav Shimon Gamliel. Hey Rav Shimon Gamliel, which Rav Shimon Gamliel? Ile Rav Shimon Gamliel Mas Nisan, it's not. Amoicha Pers L'Chaver V'Zon V'Lo Tzomchu. You sold seeds, they planted it and they didn't grow. Afilu Zerapishtan Ein Achai B'Achriyusa. But Zaruni Gina, She'ena Necholin, seeds that are not eaten, Chai B'Achriyusa. And what does Rabbi Shimon Gamliel say? Ema Sefer. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel Oimer. Zaruni Gina She'ena Necholin Chai B'Achriyusa. It's the same thing. Bring the Tamak Nami Ochi Kamer. Well, how are they different? So Zerapishtan She'ena Chai B'Achriyusa. Hazaruni Gina She'ena Necholin Chai B'Achriyusa. The flax, you're not chayiv, but the garden seeds that are not eaten, you are chayiv. Elalav, the difference between Tanakam and Gamliel is hotzah, it could be now. Do you pay for the expenses to plant it? The Tanakam and Mar Savar, you only pay the value of the seeds, Mezera. Umar Savar, Rav Shimon Gamliel holds afoitza. Mimai. Hilma Ibcha, maybe the Tanakama says you pay for the expenses, and Rav Shimon Gamliel says you don't. No. Haloi Kasha, called Tana Basra L'Tfui Milsakasi. A later Tana that appears later in the Mishnah is always adding to what the earlier Tana said. So the Rav Shimon Gamliel is an addition to what the first Tana said, which means Rav Shimon Gamliel holds you have to pay for the expenses. Dilma Kula Rav Shimon Gamliel. Maybe this is not a machlokas between a Tana Kam and Rav Gamliel. It's all Rav Shimon Gamliel. You sold seeds. The guy planted it, they didn't grow. Even flaxseed, the seller has no responsibility. But Zaruni Gina something that's never eaten, Tiv Rav Shimon Gamliel. Rav Shimon Gamliel Oimer Zerapishtan She'ena Chai B'Achriyusin. Hazaruni Gina She'ena Cholim Chai B'Achriyusin. So maybe the Mishnah could be explained as according to one Tana. Not that he argues regarding Hoitzah. Ella Lahadam Rav Shimon Gamliel. A different Rav Shimon Gamliel. The Tanya. Hamoylech Chitin Litchon. You're transporting wheat to grind it. V'lo lotzon, but you did not add water before the grinding to soften it. V'asan subin, and end up making a poor product, or mursin, some kind of bad flour, because there's still kernels of the wheat that are in it. Or kamach lenachtom, you gave flour to a baker, va'afo pasni poiling, but he baked it in a way that it's like crumbly. Or a person gave be'emel tabach, person brought an animal to a shoichet, v'nivla, and the shoichet made it in a vela when he shechted it. Chayiv, these workers who damaged the product have to pay, because while they have the product, he's like a shomer sachar. If he was negligent, he has to pay. Not only that, embarrassment has to be paid as well. For example, if he invited guests and he doesn't have food to give them. I go to a caterer to prepare me a suda, the kilkala, and they ruined it. Besides the payment for the food, you have to get your guests were embarrassed, or he was embarrassed because his guests didn't have any food. They would hang a curtain over the opening. They would know as long as that's hanging, guests can come in. Nistalka hamapa ein orchin nichnasin. Then they don't come in. It was a signal. Mishnah. Hamacher peiros, which is like grain. Harei zeh mekabel of roiva tinoifes. a quarter kav of psoilus, of inferior product is accepted. L'sa, a quarter of a kav per saw. To einim mekabel of eser metulas l'chol meya. By figs, if you buy 100 figs, 10 of them can have worms in it, and the buyer can't complain. Martev shel yain, a barrel of wine. The kabel of eser koisosois the meya. 1/10 could be vinegar. Kankanim bisharon. If you buy jugs of wine in the area of the Sharon, where Tel Aviv is, mekabel of eser poistois lemeya. This is also poistois is a small jug. Tani Rav Katina. This rova hakav of psoilus that you accept when you buy a saw of grain, rova kitnius saw, meaning kitnius. This is the whole problem of Pesach. Things like rice and other legumes were stored with wheat. So you can, a rova of kitnius will be found in rova kav in a saw of grain. Now, what about afruris? What about dust or dirt? He doesn't accept any. Kustafa, Rava, Boirer Tzror, the Gornishal Chavero. Somebody who finds a stone and plucks it out from his friend's silo, Noiselo Dmei Chitin. You give him the value of chitin that the rock was taking the place. So you see, tzror is different. It's already considered in the price. Okay, we'll continue. Now, coming here today, I don't think we're going to make it back on time to teach the daf. I will be back on time for the slichas, but I don't think I'll send a message if I can't make it. If I can, I'll say we're on for 8:30. If not, I'll send a message. Okay?
Okay, shkoyach.
Shabbos, enjoy.